deep in the panhandle of Idaho. The panhandle is so rugged, there's only one highway that ties the north with the south. Idaho is even more divided than Washington. There are 4 major highways that tie eastern Washington across to Montana. US Route 2 along the Kootenai River, Idaho State Highway 200 along the Clark Fork River, Interstate 90 through the Lookout Pass, and my current route, US 12 through the Lolo Pass. The Lolo Pass is deemed one of the best highways to ride in the United States. I decided to go 70 miles and about an hour and a half out of my way to take this route rather than the much quicker I-90 to the north. My route snakes through the wilderness north of the Bitterroot Mountains where it traverses the state line into Montana. Beyond is the city of Missoula, a huge crossroads for the area where many valleys meet. The Lolo Pass has a lot of historical significance. In 1805 and 1806, the explorers Lewis and Clark utilized the Lolo Pass to get through the Rockies on their way to the Pacific and back. The pioneers had spent much of their time in this region, so I'll be touching on their expedition later. About 70 years after that, Chief Joseph and his band of Nez Perce renegades crossed over into Montana after refusing to be forced onto the reservation set aside for their tribe. There are many that follow much of the path that Joseph and his tribe took during the war, many on ceremony or as a sort of a pilgrimage. At the end of the war, General Sherman couldn't have the rebel Nez Perce put back onto the reservation, so they were placed in reservations in Kansas and Oklahoma. After 8 years, Chief Joseph's captured band was allowed to return to the reservation, although only 3 in 5 of them had survived their internment. Chief Joseph himself wasn't allowed to return to his tribe, and he was placed in the Colville Reservation until he died at age 64 in 1904. The spot is unmarked, but along the Canyon Creek, along the highway, is the Kooskia Internment Camp. For the last 2 years of World War II, some 250 resident Japanese were branded as enemy aliens and imprisoned here. The camp is so remote that no fences or watchtowers were necessary. President FDR signed Executive Order 9066 that placed US Japanese residents and citizens into internment camps out of fear that they would aid the Japanese Empire at the peak of World War II. The incarcerated Japanese, along with other volunteer workers, helped build Highway 12 through the Lolo Pass, the very same highway I'm riding on right now. I didn't know this until very much later, but it's pretty dark to think that this highway was built by people who were so wrongfully incarcerated by our government. Almost 2 decades after the end of the war, the highway was completed in 1962. At the dedication celebration, attended by thousands, the governors of Idaho and Montana used a 2-man crosscut saw on a ceremonial log to honor the highway's completion. So I've been riding for a few hours already today, and I just gotta pretend it's gonna be an hour later because once I cross over to Montana, it'll go to mountain time. It's 10:15, so I just imagine it's 11:15. Right now I guess so far I've been following the Clearwater River. Absolutely breathtaking views along Highway 12, and I'm actually seeing much more motorcyclists than I am any other kind of vehicle. Sometimes I see logging trucks. These are some really steep hills, steep cliffs, steep curves. It's amazing. It's fun. Lolo Pass is, I went this way on purpose. It was a little bit out of the way. So I really hope it doesn't come back to bite me. I'm not finding many towns coming through here. For the most part, I wouldn't call them towns. I'd call them outposts. I just see a random gas station that's a part of a resort of some sort. And to get to the resort, they have to go through all this, you know? It's not easy. And I imagine in the winter, it's just damn near impossible. Oh man, I was up too late. Well, I'm going to continue on, and then I need to get something to eat in Lolo, because I'm starving, and it's going to be an hour later, too, so I got to get a move on, because I need to make it to Glacier to get a first come, first serve campsite, so the earlier I get there to find out I can't get one, the better, so let's go.